Let's bring in Joshua Ritter, criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor, and a Fox News contributor. Joshua, great to have you on. I want to play this soundbite because I think it's fascinating. This is the commissioner of the NBA, Adam Silver, but it was 2 days ago on the Pat McAfee show, and he's talking about gambling and how it needs to be reined in. Watch this.
But we've asked some of our partners to pull back some of the prop bets, especially when they're on two-way players, guys who don't have the same stake in the competition, where, it's too easy to manipulate something which seems otherwise small and inconsequential to the overall score. We're trying to put in place, and learning as we go, and working with the betting companies, some additional controls to prevent sort of some of that manipulation.
He's trying to talk about the prop bets there, which we talked about earlier, meaning, hey, how many, if you talk about somebody like Terry Rozier, how many points is he going to get? How many rebounds? Assists and so forth. And if it's over or under, you win a certain amount of money. And then the players are accused of manipulating that, Josh. Yeah.
Do you think he thought something might be coming?
Right.
It sounds a lot like it. It's exactly what we're talking about here, is that this is a stat that no one, you and I, a casual viewer of the NBA, is going to pay attention to. Whether or not one player goes over or under on his time played or the amount of points that he has. But to people betting, it can be a big bet. And especially if they have inside information that he might be pulling himself out of the game early, the consequences could be millions of dollars in Vegas.
Yeah, and the thing to me is, you look at both of these different cases and you look at the poker one and you're like, this is the mafia. It's egregious, really bad. And, but it's been going on for a lot of years. They're using new technology to cheat in poker and using coaches to lure other, high, big whales in, as they're known in Vegas, the big gamblers. But this NBA thing, it goes to the very integrity of the game, Josh.
Absolutely. I think that part of it is going to have consequences way beyond today. You're right. A shady card game taking place in some back room of a bar. A lot of people are going to worry about that years from now. But the integrity of the NBA and whether or not players are involved in throwing games and the consequences this could have in Vegas, this is going to have ramifications for years to come.
And it's interesting because you talk about, his buddies were betting $10,000 on this and this person was betting this. And you're thinking, listen, you got a guy like Terry Rozier was making $26 million a year. What are you spending, what are you ruining your career for, allegedly, for $10,000 so your buddy can win?
It makes no sense. We were talking about this earlier. I don't understand it. What is the appeal? Is it just that they're interested in the hustle of it, that they can't take themselves out of that excitement of being involved in the betting somehow, or having this inside information? But you're right, they're making millions of dollars. This is not the kind of money that you would expect for them to make these types of decisions about.
I want to play this very quickly. This is Stephen A. Smith, and he's talking about bringing a little political stuff into this whole mix. Watch.
Trump is coming. Don't be surprised if the WNBA is next on his list. We've seen athletes get in trouble with the law before. You don't see the director of the FBI having a press conference. It's not coincidental. It's not an accident. It's a statement. Talk to people in the NBA. Talk to people in the NFL. Talk to people in the world of sports. They think this is like the tip of the iceberg.
It's not just a little bit of this and that, what Stephen A. One thing, it began under the Biden administration. Nate Foy was talking about one of these poker games in 2019, began a long time ago. The other thing, it goes to the very integrity of the entire NBA, which is a multi-billion-dollar sport around the world.
I do agree with Stephen A. at least on one point, that I do think it's the tip of the iceberg. I can't imagine. Every time you look at these federal indictments, you got to look at who are the unindicted co-conspirators that may not even be named. Right. Those are people cooperating, and there could be more information coming.
You wonder the big names. That's the whole thing, is we've gotten these names, but as this investigation gets deeper and you start looking at more different bets along the way, the name list tends to go up.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.